Anyway, there's lots to talk about. The ICC, the so-called International Criminal Court. Bunch of grifters over there in some capital city in Europe, paid for by us, of course, swanning around their fancy restaurants and doing all the rest of it, coming up with things to keep themselves employed, like all these globalist organizations. We should be pulling out a lot of them, by the way, the UN, the World Health Organization. Let's get Australia out of all of them. Trump's going to start pulling America out. We should follow suit. But they have come out with a great idea. Hey, let's arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of the only democracy in the Middle East, a guy who's trying to keep his nation alive, a guy who's trying to catch the villains and free the hostages after the horrific October 7th atrocities. So what do these clowns, the ICC, do? Oh, let's arrest them. Talking to us is someone who knows the law inside out, particularly international law. Natasha Hausdorff, great to have you back on Outsiders. This is an absolute disgrace, what has happened. Tell us the legal ramifications and your thoughts on the fact that they are saying the International Criminal Court have put out an arrest warrant for the Prime Minister of Israel.
Well, always wonderful to be with you. Just unfortunate that it's in these circumstances. Yes, yes, this is a decision by the pre-trial chamber to issue arrest warrants, not just against Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, but also against a dead man, Mohammed Daif. Hamas confirmed his death some 3 weeks ago. So the overriding impression, certainly from that inclusion of a dead Hamas terrorist, is that the court is seeking to approach this matter looking as if it's going after both sides in some even-handed fashion. Of course, that in and of itself is drawing an abhorrent moral equivalence between the only democracy in the Middle East and an internationally prescribed terrorist organization. But quite apart from those optics, the lack of jurisdiction that the court has to issue this arrest warrant, the flagrant violation of its own rules in not allowing Israel the opportunity to investigate and prosecute any credible allegations, and proceeding in these circumstances in a plainly political fashion, throws an awful lot of the law out of the window. And it's a further step, unfortunately, in the weaponization of international legal institutions against Israel. It's interesting that you remark on the personnel at the court. Anecdotally, I can say it seems that the vast majority of the work of the International Criminal Court appears to be done by unpaid interns. Nonetheless, this is at the cost of hundreds of millions of dollars. That is funded by member states of the ICC, including Australia. And it is incumbent, I would suggest, on every single state that actually upholds the rule of law, that prizes international law, to hold the court to account on this victimization of the Jewish state, because, and it's the last important aspect that I'll highlight here, these arrest warrant applications were predicated on entirely false information. The prosecutor of the ICC put out a public summary of his application, which he made on the 20th of May, and every phrase of every sentence of that public summary was false. It's been shown to be false by the organization I'm very, very proud to be involved with, UK Lawyers for Israel, that went through those allegations chapter and verse, including the suggestion that Israel closed crossings into Gaza, prevented aid from going in. Nothing of that sort, in fact, happened. On the contrary, the facilitation of aid into the Gaza Strip by Israel, by COGAT in particular, which is the unit of the IDF that's responsible for this, has far exceeded the requirements of the population of the Gaza Strip. Whether that's got to the people that need it inside the Strip, unfortunately, that has been hampered by Hamas. But in terms of facilitating aid into the Strip, Israel has gone above and beyond to ensure that that has occurred. And all the international aid, bar 1%, which was kept back for security reasons, has in fact been provided into Gaza.